His business failed 3 times, and every time, he blamed everyone except the one person responsible. In a trading city where merchants competed for customers, a man named Jamal opened his first shop selling pottery. He had high hopes. He worked hard. He stocked quality products. But within a year, the shop failed. Jamal blamed the location. The street was wrong. Nobody walked past my shop. That's why I failed. He opened a second shop in a better location. This time, he was certain he'd succeed. Better foot traffic, more visibility. But within a year, this shop also failed. Jamal blamed the customers. People in this city don't appreciate quality. They only want cheap garbage. That's why I failed. He opened a third shop in a different city with wealthier customers. Surely this time would be different. But within a year, this shop also failed. Jamal blamed the economy. The market is bad. People aren't spending. Timing is everything, and my timing was wrong. That's why I failed. 3 shops, 3 failures, and Jamal never once looked at the real problem. There was another merchant in the same city named Farooq. Farooq also sold pottery, same products, same market, same economy. But Farooq's shop thrived while Jamal's kept failing. One day, frustrated and broke, Jamal confronted Farooq. I don't understand. We sell the same things, but you succeed and I keep failing. What's the difference? Farooq looked at him and said something that changed everything. The difference is that I own a mirror, and you don't. Jamal didn't understand. Farooq explained. Every time your business failed, you looked around for someone to blame. The location, the customers, the economy. You looked everywhere except the one place that mattered. Farooq took Jamal to his shop and showed him a mirror hanging on the wall. Every time something goes wrong in my business, I look in this mirror first, because 90% of the time, the problem is staring back at me. Jamal felt defensive. So you're saying everything is my fault? Farooq shook his head. I'm saying that blaming external things gives them power over you. If the problem is the location, you're powerless. If the problem is the customers, you're helpless. If the problem is the economy, you can't fix it. But if the problem is you, then you have all the power, because you can change you. Farooq walked Jamal through his first shop failure. You said the location was wrong, but did you do anything to drive traffic? Did you advertise? Did you create reasons for people to walk to your street? Or did you just wait for customers to magically appear? Jamal stayed quiet. He hadn't done any of that. He just assumed if he opened a shop, people would come. Farooq continued. Your second shop, you blamed the customers. You said they only wanted cheap products. But did you explain why your pottery was worth more? Did you educate them about quality? Did you create value beyond just the product? Or did you just get frustrated when they didn't understand? Again, Jamal had done none of that. He just got angry and blamed the customers for not appreciating what he offered. Your third shop, you blamed the economy. But my shop succeeded in the same economy. The market wasn't the problem. Your approach was. You kept opening shops and hoping they'd work. You never looked at what you were doing wrong. Jamal realized Farooq was right. Every failure, Jamal had pointed fingers outward. He never looked inward. He never asked, "What did I do wrong? What could I have done better? What was my role in this failure?" Forex continued. "When my first location didn't get enough foot traffic, I didn't blame the street. I asked myself, how can I bring people here? So I created promotions. I partnered with other businesses. I made my shop a destination. When customers said my pottery was too expensive, I didn't blame them. I asked myself, how can I show the value? So I demonstrated craftsmanship. I told the stories behind the pieces. I made people understand why quality costs more. When the economy slowed, I didn't blame the market. I asked myself, how can I adapt? So I introduced lower-priced items alongside premium ones. I offered payment plans. I found ways to serve customers even when money was tight. Every problem I faced, I looked in the mirror first. What could I control? What could I change? What was my responsibility? And when I focused on fixing myself instead of blaming others, my business succeeded. Here's the truth about failure that most people never accept. External problems exist. Bad locations happen. Difficult customers exist. Economic downturns are real. But those things affect everyone. The question is why some people succeed despite them while others fail because of them. The difference is the mirror. Winners look in it. Losers avoid it. Jamal represents most people who fail at business, careers, or wealth building. They blame everything except themselves, the boss, the system, the market, the competition, the economy, the customers, the timing. And every excuse they make removes their power. Because if the problem is external, they can't fix it. They're victims. They're helpless. They're at the mercy of forces beyond their control. Forex represents people who succeed. They face the same challenges, the same obstacles, the same problems, but they look in the mirror first. They ask, what's my role in this? What can I control? What can I do better? And when you ask those questions, you find power. Because even if 90% of the problem is external, there's still 10% you can change. And that 10% is often enough to turn failure into success. Think about your own failures. Your career that isn't growing. Your business that isn't succeeding. Your wealth that isn't building. Who are you blaming? Are you blaming your boss for not recognizing you? Or are you looking in the mirror and asking if you're actually providing enough value to be recognized? Are you blaming the market for being too competitive? Or are you asking yourself if you're innovating and adapting fast enough? Are you blaming the economy for being bad? Or are you asking what you can do to succeed even in a bad economy? The mirror doesn't lie. It shows you the one person who's with you in every single failure, the one constant, the one variable that appears in every equation. Jamal failed 3 times blaming everyone else. Forex succeeded because he looked in the mirror first. Same city, same products, different accountability. Stop pointing fingers outward. Start looking inward. The problem might not be entirely your fault, but the solution is entirely your responsibility. Own the mirror. Face what it shows you. Fix what you can control. That's where power lives. Watch the next one.